Welcome to OnsideSA, the soccer show that lets you know what's going on, and what's going on is our last one standing. Most people went through. It was pretty easy. I'll just give you the quick updates before we speak to Budge about it. The only teams that knocked people out were Wolves 13 and Norwich 1. So we've gone from 154 to 140. All the fancy teams coming through.
For a lot of squeaky moments, Leicester in particular, but it's got to stay in, Paul. That's what it's about.
Yeah, that's what it's about, and again, good to see the women. 19 were in, now 18, they're hanging tough, the women. Star of the week, Mark Curry, 5 for 5.
Paul, the reason I gave him that, Steve Griffiths had 10 for 10. He had 2 odds-on shots, but you have a look at Mark's picks.
Leicester
were 8 to 10.
Aston Villa.
They were 15 to 10, and Newcastle 16 to 10. So full credit to Mark.
Full credit, Mark's got to get. And then pick of the week, Mark Tuttle. Went for Brentford.
Away from home. Yeah, great pick. Ended up a great pick at the time.
Great pick. Saves them some ground there.
Yeah.
Value pick of the week, Newcastle. You've got Carol Whitehead. Can you believe it? Colours can never.
He's trying to claim the glory, but he's got no chance.
No chance. His wife keeps going through. He keeps going out. Andrew from Boston.
Yeah.
Dave Cohen, Steve Laveau, Mark Anderson, Aaron Marino, and Mark Curry again.
He was on. Paul, there was 17 to 10 Newcastle, Paul. So well done to the guys.
My UK boys.
This is a miracle.
Is still in.
Mark Bird,
Stevie B, our pundit. He's still in. These are mysteries, these guys. And Derek Ramsey in Wales. That's a mystery that all three of them are in. But
the big week ahead, Paul. This is a tough week.
I think we've got Smash coming somewhere. I don't know who. People haven't got the big guns anymore to pick.
You got Man United to pick, Paul.
And Spurs.
Yeah.
No, both so inconsistent, and there's so much drama going on. But this will be interesting. I'm tipping from 140, we go to less than 70.
Now, Paul, crucial as that I've written there, we've got this round. The next weekend, it's FA Cup weekend, and they've postponed 5 games, so there is no round. Okay. And the week after that is the international playoffs. So the next round is April the 2nd. So we'll worry about that after.
This weekend.
This weekend, then
we'll worry about it later.
April,
So this weekend is April 2nd, 3rd and 4th.
That's the next round, Paul.
After this weekend?
Yeah, after this weekend,
Got that. Thanks for that update. Okay, let's get Stevie B on the line. Stevie B, are you there?
Steve, how's the altitude,
Well, where's he?
Well, 4th round, going to the 5th round doesn't normally happen,
Yeah, I thought you were talking about
I know. It doesn't normally happen, and if I can squeak through this round, then, for me to still be in it come April, it's almost unheard of.
April Fool's Day is the next pick, so you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Steve, some great championship. Did you watch Liverpool Inter Milan?
I did, most of it. It's Liverpool had enough chances. I think obviously they went through on the back of their first leg. Once when Inter scored, it was a good goal as well. I think there was obviously had a wobble for a minute, but after that they didn't really look as if they were going to trouble Liverpool too much. Once Sanchez got sent off, but the woodwork saved Inter a bit. But it was Liverpool just did what they had to do, but it wasn't quite their night.
Yeah, looked like they were just occupying time. Now Bayern Munich, I watched the first 20 minutes of that game. They were impressive, 7-1.
Yeah, but I understand that Salzburg they'd had a really bad COVID outbreak in the last couple of weeks. They had virtually most of their team had COVID, either couldn't play or they were recovering. So, don't take nothing away from Lewandowski, obviously, but I think that they were always up against it.
Yeah, I thought we were always going to go through. And the big game was last night, and I'm so happy that Real Madrid beat PSG 3-1. What did you think?
Yeah, well, after an hour, it looked like PSG were just cruising. 2-0 up on aggregate, under no real pressure. Benzema scores, and then all of a sudden they just imploded. And those 2 goals in just over a minute, that was unbelievable, really. Yeah. And after that, they looked to shambles. Defensively, they were all over the place, giving away lots of niggly fouls. They didn't look, they just lost their composure altogether. Yeah. So, as you say, I think a lot of people are delighted for Real Madrid. It's, PSG, there's something about them that, they just, it's almost like they don't care about anything. It's just the I think just the pressure for them to win the Champions League is so great. I think the players they couldn't cope at the end. I think they realised what was happening, and it was there was nothing they could do about it.
They're right. Yeah, too much mediocrity for me. Midfield players, Cruz, they don't get tested too often in the French league, so they get away with things. But I'm glad for Real Madrid. I thought Modric and Benzema were outstanding. But it wasn't it strange. The guy who ruined Benzema, sorry. The guy who ruined England's hearts, the goalkeeper, the Italian, sold their jerseys last night. He was terrible. Donnarumma, yeah. The last one, Steve, Man City Sporting, didn't look like it was much.
Just
before you move over, I want to ask Steve a question. Steve, there's talk that Pochettino might go to United. Anything in the papers now, especially getting knocked out of the...
Well, I think that rumour's been going for a while, and I think now that PSG are out, I think it would be... I can't see him staying at PSG somehow.
Yeah.
They do change their managers if they fail to win the Champions League, and I think, if United want him and he wants to go, you'd think that there has to be a deal to be done. So, at the end of the day, they bring the big name managers in to win the Champions League. That's it. And he hasn't done it again. So I'd be surprised if he's still there in the summer.
Yeah, only Zidane can resurrect that club because the players respect him. But other than that, that's just a poison chalice. Steve, Man City Sporting Lisbon, did anything happen other than a disallowed goal?
Very, very little happened. I think that they dominated City. I watched bits. In all honesty, they went through the motions. I think Sporting went there, with a view to not concede and not to lose. Yeah. And it wasn't a particularly exciting game. I think I think people were probably decided they were going to switch over and watch the Real Madrid game, which was the right decision, I think, in the end.
Yeah, especially 5-0. Now, Steve, there's two big games on tonight for English clubs. Seville hosting West Ham. How do you see that one?
Yeah, that's a tough game for West Ham. I think if they come away from there without a defeat, or even a defeat by one, it won't be a bad result. Seville, for me, this is their competition. They're as good as anybody, and they're joint favourites. So I think West Ham, to get anything at all there, would be a great result for them.
Yeah, and Leicester City play Rennes in the Europa Conference League.
Yeah, this would be a good game. Yeah, Rennes are one of the sort of stronger teams in the Europa Conference League left. Leicester are without Vardy again. He's got injured. He's just come back, and he's out for another few weeks. So I think disappointed about that. They just seem to be a little bit of form. Harvey Barnes playing well. I think Leicester definitely want to take a lead before they go to France. I think they will win. I think it'll be close, but I expect Leicester to win this.
And Steve, you've got 4 Premiership games on tonight. Norwich, Chelsea. Any chance of an upset?
None.
Yeah. I think it would be very, very surprising. I think that Chelsea are obviously cemented that third place. They don't want to put themselves under any pressure in the league. So I'd be really surprised if it's anything other than a comfortable Chelsea win. Norwich are trying hard, but it was a bad defeat for them against Brentford, and you can't see how they can turn it round over a few days against the team with the quality of Chelsea.
Yeah, agreed. Steve, Southampton, Newcastle, that should be a good game.
I think it will be. I think Southampton came unstuck. I think it surprised a lot of people how easily that Villa beat them the other day. Newcastle, still unbeaten, 8 unbeaten, 5 wins, playing with confidence. I think this will be a really close game. I wouldn't be at all surprised if Newcastle could avoid defeat, hold Southampton. Southampton at home are very strong at the moment. So I think that is a good game. Looking forward to it.
All right, Wolves, Watford, that should be a thriller. Steve, are you there? Wolves, Watford?
Steve's fainted.
Oh, okay, well, we'll try and get...
We cut out.
Oh, sorry, Steve, cut out.
Yeah, cut out momentarily. I think Wolves will bounce back. I think they'll be a little bit too strong for Watford. I think Watford are trying hard, but I just don't think they've quite got enough to stay up at the moment. I think if there was to be a winner, I fancy it to be Wolves.
All right, Stephen, the big game of the evening, Leeds United, Aston Villa. That should be a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Leeds obviously need to find some form. They didn't play badly at Leicester.
Should have won.
It'll be interesting to see. How they play tonight. Leeds have now got a couple of games at home. Villa at home and Norwich at home. I think they're going to be looking to get minimum of 4 points.
Yeah.
I think tonight, it depends. Villa are very inconsistent. I mean, they were superb last week, but away they haven't been quite as strong. But they've had a couple of wins recently. I think that could be a tough game for Leeds, but I think they could be. I think they could hold Villa, and I think that will just give them a bit of confidence. So, again, it's one of these rearranged games, but these are big games at the bottom of the table.
Yeah, it's true. Steve, on to the weekend. Obviously, we've got to ask you because of our pools. Brentford-Burnley, crucial game at the bottom of the league.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, obviously Brentford did themselves a big favour by winning at Norwich. Obviously, if they won, they could put a bit of daylight between them and the bottom teams. But I think Burnley will probably feel a little bit aggrieved. They played very well in the first half against Chelsea, and the scoreline probably flattered Chelsea in the end. But I think Burnley will, must realise this is the game they can't afford to lose. So I think it'll be quite a close game.
All right, the big.
Would be surprised if Burnley hold them.
Yeah, so you fancy a score draw there. No problem. The big game of the weekend, especially in the studio, is Man United, Tottenham. Be careful how you answer, Steve, but how do you see it?
Well, look, a week ago, I might have said, before United played City and Tottenham played Everton, I might have said, well, this could be a home win. United's second half performance was abysmal. I mean, the pundits were incensed, really, with just the lack of fight and lack of passion.
Yeah.
On the other hand, Tottenham were totally clinical against Everton. Took all those chances coming and looked a good side. I think it'll be a close game. You just don't know what you're going to get with United. It depends if Ronaldo's playing. It seems you hear rumours now that he's fallen out with Rangnick. You just don't quite know what's going on up at Old Trafford, and this is a game they can't afford to lose because with Arsenal now sitting in fourth place, Tottenham creeping up.
Stevie, both teams are inconsistent.
Yeah.
Both teams are poor, and then they have flashes of brilliance. For me, I think the draw looks a good bet.
Steve, you mentioned Everton. Everton Wolves.
Yeah, well, I think Lampard is going to have to expect a reaction because that was a shocking defensive performance during the week. I think they will bounce back. At home, they have been a lot stronger, so I wouldn't be at all surprised if they get something. I think I'd be surprised if they capitulate at home and lose to Wolves. So for me, it's either a draw or a home win.
All right, Steve, we'll leave the West Ham Aston Villa game because they both play on Thursday night. Arsenal Leicester.
Yeah.
You think Arsenal will be too strong?
I think they could be. I mean, Leicester play on Thursday, and Leicester, I would assume, will play a strong team.
Yeah.
Arsenal just seem to be finding a way in at the moment. So I think of the two, I fancy Arsenal.
Okie dokie. Steve, on to the Championship. Your boys Fulham are flying high. Should you be too good for Barnsley?
Well, they should do. Barnsley have had a reasonable run of late, but they drew during the week and they lost at Derby. We have to go there full of confidence. Barnsley is the sort of place that we should be looking at saying we're going to go there and win by 2 or 3.
Yeah.
I think we will win. I think it will be close because Barnsley are fighting for their lives. But we want to put some more distance between us and the teams in second and third. So I think that we should start as clear favourites.
All right. Birmingham City, Hull City, 2 inconsistent teams. How do you see that going?
Yeah, very inconsistent, but I'm very disappointed with the way that Hull have been playing recently. I think Birmingham will be too strong. They've got the young United boy back from injury who played last weekend, Talit Chong, and evidently played very well. So I just think Birmingham will be too strong.
Okie dokie. Coventry City, Sheffield United, your lurkers to get that last automatic place.
Yeah, I think that for me, Sheffield United are probably about one of the informed teams and had a really good win earlier in the week. I fancy them to go there. Coventry, we know, are very inconsistent, and I fancy Sheffield United to win that.
Okie dokie. Now, the form team in Middlesbrough, I looked it up, in the Championship, I looked it up this morning, is Millwall. They host a Middlesbrough team who seem to have lost the plot.
Erratic, eh?
How do you see it?
Yeah, Millwall, they drew the other night, having won 5 in a row.
Yeah.
Really playing well. not conceding goals. I think this has got like a 1-0 home win written all over it, or possibly a low score draw. Middlesbrough, I think, will want to bounce back after that big defeat at Sheffield. I think it will be close, but I think they could both take points off each other. So Millwall are just on the edges of the playoffs themselves. So I think this will be a very close game.
Steve, London derby on Sunday. Well, I think it is Luton Town versus QPR.
Luton's a long way out.
Yeah, it's sort of almost a London derby. Yeah, I think this is a big game. Luton have again find themselves on the fringes of the playoffs. QPR can't afford to drop more points. They dropped points the other day. I fancy Luton to at least hold them, if not win. Luton have just surprised everybody, and at home they're very strong. So wouldn't be at all surprised if Luton win that.
All right, Steve, pressure time now. I don't want to give you credit, but you've been in great form the last 2 weeks. Who are you going for this week?
That is giving him credit, Budge. That is like...
I'm going to go for Birmingham as my...
You've got to be kidding me.
That's
my best bet as well.
No, I fancy them. And my value bet, I'm going to go for Sheffield United. I think they'll be too strong at Coventry. I can't see Coventry favourites there.
Yeah.
So we'll see,
All right. Well, I went for Millwall, Steve, as my value bets. But Birmingham City, the money was on yesterday. So let's hope great minds think alike and not fools never differ. Steve, you've got your team on lunchtime, so I'll be watching them. And good luck. Let's hope you put the automatic promotion to bed very quickly.
Yeah. Steve.
Well, I mean, the way it's panning out, all things being equal, we could sort of go up with a few games to spare. I think it'll take the pressure off.
Yeah, that's what you need. You don't need any pressure.
Yeah. As Budgie said, I don't want to promote you or blow smoke, but then he went ahead and did it.
Yeah.
It's like people say needless to say and then go on and say it.
But needless to say, Steve.
Needless to say, we'll talk to you soon.
Last one standing. Don't forget your pick.
No, I'll send it to you shortly.
Right,
Lovely.
Steve. Thanks very much,
Thanks
Steve.
very much, Steve.
Have a
Stay
good
well.
day.
All the
Right.
best.
Cheers.
Bye.
Let's go Premiership, Budge.
Yeah,
Premiership
Paul.
fixtures, and they'll come up on the screen any moment. You can give us your take. Stephen, you've been through a few. But top of our list is Brighton, I believe. Brighton, Liverpool.
Lunchtime kickoff.
What's
Paul.
your take?
Well,
Liverpool
Brighton
too strong?
have won one home game in the last 10. They beat Brentford. They've been woeful.
So they should turn it soon.
They've got to turn it. But Paul, can you remember the game at Anfield? They played great, Brighton. They were 2-0 down, came back to 2-2.
That's right. This is a game.
Liverpool haven't been playing too well, Paul, but they've been sneaking in.
Yeah.
It's
They
hard
get
to
a
go
result.
against Liverpool, Paul.
Yeah,
but
very hard. Very
Liverpool
hard.
won't get beat, but you never know with Brighton.
Now, Brentford are going to be cock-a-hoop. Burnley going to
Yeah.
be down in the mouth after playing well and getting thumped at the end.
Yeah.
It's got draw written all over it, but one change could swing this whole game.
Yeah. Paul, for me, Ben Mee's a key man at the back for Burnley. When he plays,
Is he
they're
injured
hard
still?
to beat. Ericsson at Brentford, Paul, played last week, played great.
How was he?
Played all right, Paul. They were all happy with him. Will he play 2 games in a row? You don't know. But Ivan Toney's back for Brentford. Paul, this has got 1-1 written all over
1-1.
it. But
Okay, I'm going to ring up the draw.
1-1 for me here, Paul.
Okay, then the next game is Man United Spurs. I would say draw, Budge.
Paul, I can't have Man United. There's trouble in the camp. You can just see it. The abuse that's coming out.
They've
And
got to stand up.
Paul, I just don't have this is characters in the
What's
team.
the latest with Ronaldo?
Paul, who cares, to be honest,
Who knows?
Who knows, the
Needless
coach is
to say.
needless to say. Coach is blaming him, he's blaming him. It's just a blame game, Paul,
Yeah.
and they don't deserve to be in the
He took a lot
club.
of flack for flying to Portugal when
Yeah.
they played Man City. Didn't go watch, he went to
Yeah.
Portugal.
So that's the problem, Paul. It's
yeah.
all about me, and I think everyone in the camp.
Yeah.
So I think Spurs will roll them, Paul.
I hope you're right, but I'm tipping
I
a
can't
draw.
touch. Only thing in their favour, 75,000 fans
Yeah.
will be baying for blood.
Yeah.
And it won't be Spurs' blood, it'll be the players' blood.
Yeah.
So there'll be a reaction, but defensively we're still terrible.
Chelsea, Newcastle, Chelsea
Paul,
at home.
Should be, Paul.
If
But
they played 2
unfortunately,
months ago, it would have been a 1-5 shot.
But Paul, the last 7 home league games, they've won 2 and drawn 5. So anything's possible. But Reece James coming back's a major plus, Paul. He's a
player.
class act. So you got to fancy Chelsea, Paul.
Okay. Now, Everton are going to have to play well at home, but Wolves aren't going to go down without a fight wherever they go.
Remember, Wolves played great at Arsenal. They conceded in injury time to
That's
get
right.
beat. Then
they were leading.
Then they went to West Ham and made 6 changes. Then
Yeah.
they brought Jimenez on and all the boys on in the last week. Now they play tonight. They should beat Watford. Now, what's he going to do? They've got to finish in the top 7 to get a Europa League place. Paul, I think Wolves can grab Everton.
Okay.
I don't fancy
Everton will woeful
Everton
against
one bit.
Spurs.
You know they're going to come out, but it's a team of misfits according to...
Everton scored own goals against us. They got caught.
Their 2
in
centre-halves are
behind.
disgraceful.
Yeah, that's right. Where's the big boy, Mina?
Oh, he was injured last I heard, Paul,
Okay.
but maybe he's back. But if he doesn't play,
Yeah.
anything's possible. But I like Wolves of the 2 teams.
Okay, let's move on. Budge, I want to get your opinion on Leeds untied.
Well, we'll see tonight, Paul, but the way they played against Leicester, they played great.
Jeez,
So they
played
should
well.
beat Norwich, Paul. 6 to 10,
6
they
to
should
10,
beat
yeah.
Norwich.
Gee, they were good again and when they lost to Leicester.
Yeah.
Southampton have been brilliant. Then the last game took the gloss away.
But Paul at home, they haven't lost in 10 home games. They even drew with Man City at home. So they should beat Watford.
Watford are having a go.
Watford a go. They have a go, Paul. I think there's goals in that game, Paul.
Yeah.
I saw 9.5 to 10 both teams to score. I think there's goals in that game. I wouldn't be taking 6 to 10 Southampton. I'd be taking both teams to score.
Okay, West Spam, Aston Villa.
No, I like
Interesting.
Aston Villa, Paul.
You do?
I do, Paul. You know, West Ham, big game Seville tonight. They're going to run their hearts out. Aston Villa be sitting waiting for them. So I don't see Aston Villa getting beat, Paul. They haven't got a big squad.
So I'm
West
going to give
Ham.
Aston Villa a
Aston
draw.
Villa in a draw, yeah.
Okay. Arsenal-Leicester will be a good game. I think Leicester, they didn't play well against, but they won.
Yeah.
And you get that winning thread again. But Arsenal hung on.
Paul, it's just, you know,
Hang
you get
on.
teams that it's going for, and it's going for Arsenal. The only game that didn't go for them was when they lost to Man City 2-1 at home when they didn't deserve to get beat.
They shouldn't have lost.
They shouldn't have lost. But Leicester, Paul, they're playing the Europa Conference League tonight against Rennes. Now, what's Rennes against Spurs? You drew 2-2.
That's right.
And so that's a hard game. But Leicester were very fortunate. I think Arsenal beat them, Paul. I think there'll be
Okay.
goals, but it's
All right.
going for Arsenal.
It certainly is. Palace, who've done well.
Yeah. Paul,
Palace
can you
on
remember
10th.
Man City have lost 2 games, I think, in the last 20. One was to Spurs, the other one was to
Crystal Palace.
Crystal Palace, 2-0 away. Paul, I think Palace will give them a hard
Palace
game.
beat them 3-2. Remember when Townsend got
Townsend
that
scored
screamer?
that brilliant volley.
Yeah.
And they beat them 2-0 again this year.
But if Man City turn it on, it'll be 4.
It should be 4, Paul. I think Palace will score.
Okay.
Even money, both teams to score is my play there, Paul, but it should
All
be
right.
Man City.
But I'm just going to run through quickly the championship
Yeah.
results. Bournemouth, a mistake drawing.
Yeah.
They were with Peterborough, the posh, 1 each. Barnsley, who have to go and face
Yeah, they
against Stevie
conceded
Fulham.
late against Stoke.
Stoke have been a bad side this
Yeah.
year. Blackburn and Millwall, no goals.
0-0, can't believe it, but yeah.
Coventry lost 1-0 to Luton Town.
Yeah,
Sheffield put 4 past Middlesbrough. That's a big win.
big win, Paul. They're a good team, Sheffield United.
And Fulham 5 past
It was
Swansea.
0-0, but once they had a player sent off before half-time, then
Oh.
Tide came in, 5-1.
Okay, let's look at the games, Budge.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. Let's see what we can work out.
Paul, the first game up, we got, is it Blackburn, Bristol?
Let me get my pages right.
I think it's the Fulham, but anyway, we'll go through. It's the Fulham game as earlier. But Blackburn, Bristol, Paul. Blackburn have got to get a result. They're hanging in the playoff places. Bristol City, worst away record. 2 draws and 9 defeats in their last 11. So it should be Blackburn, Paul. But
All
with the
day.
way they're playing, it's hard to take 8 to 10.
Yeah.
And the next game's a crucial game. Swansea City got beat 5 by Fulham. But I watched them against West Brom away from home. They played great. But Blackpool don't get beat too often at Bloomfield Road, Paul. So Blackpool in the draw for me there.
Okay.
Cardiff Preston, funny game. Cardiff are going well. They've won 4 of the last 6. My boys are unbeaten away from home, Paul. I don't see us winning, but I'm sure we can get a point, Paul. So it's Cardiff
Okay.
City in a draw.
Coventry.
Sheffield United, Paul. I don't see Sheffield United getting beat.
Me too. They're on a roll
18 to
now.
10, I think, is a good price. It was between them and Millwall, who I went for,
Yeah.
is my best each way bet. But 5 to 10, Sheffield United win and draw. That's my play.
Okay, Millwall and Middlesbrough, they're just about joint favourites.
Yeah, well, Millwall, Paul, I fancy Millwall. They're my outside of the bet. You know, Middlesbrough away from home have been woeful. I know they had a great cup run, but away from home, you've got to roll the sleeves up. And Millwall at the Den don't get beat too often. So I'm all over Millwall there, Paul. Forest, I think they'll be too good for Reading. They watched them on Monday night in the Cup, did enough to get through. So they on the outskirts, Paul, they've got to get a result. Now, Peterborough Stoke, you just never know. Peterborough's last recent form is terrible,
They
but
got
so
the
is
draw.
Stoke.
They got the draw. Yeah,
You
they're
know,
both
good
struggling.
point at Bournemouth, so they'll have a full go. Stoke City have been woeful, Paul. So it's hard to take 12 to 10.
I'm going
And,
for the draw.
and I like Luton to beat QPR. QPR cost us a lot of money last week. Paul.
They're
They got
7th.
beat.
Or is it
Paul, they've been woeful. They got beat 2-1 at home by Cardiff. They're winning all over them. Conceded too late. So I fancy
6th
Luton.
place, 7th. Interesting game.
Yeah, big game, Paul. Yeah.
Who else is there?
Well, was the first sheet with Fulham, but we seem to have missed it. But we'll go on to the Nedbank, Paul. There were games on last
Nedbank
night.
Cup, last 16 results,
Yeah.
Budge. Sundowns 6.
Untitled 0. Once they got the second goal, it was over, Paul. And
Pirates lost on penalties.
Paul, I watched the second half and extra time. They play well up to the big box, and then they take one extra touch. But remember, Gallett's some good midfield players, Paul. Penalty shooter was a bit farcical. Pirate missed the last 3. So, shame. But, yeah, Dan, my man Malasela, you know, he's got the hoodoo over Pirates. But
I know, my grooms are going around this morning.
oh, yeah,
all my
Pirates,
Chiefs grooms.
all
All my
Chiefs,
Chiefs
yeah, a
grooms.
lot
Yeah.
to say. Paul, Swallows played Royal AM last weekend in Chatsworth Stadium, and Royal AM beat them 1-0. You know, so this could be a tough game. I think a draw's a big player. Hopefully
Okay.
for Dylan Kerr, can cause an upset. But yeah, Royal AM are second in the PSL. So
Sinan Kwani?
yeah, Paul, these are two Sinan Kwani's from the I think it's from Potchefstroom, the cup game. Paul, we don't know. It's just their league form. They're top of their Motsepe league. They've done well to get here, but Paul, really difficult to see with TTM. Yeah, TTM are in the first division. It's just a hard call, Paul. The draw's obviously a player, but I couldn't have a bet in that game.
Platinum
It's
City
Platinum
Rovers.
City, they're from Potchefstroom, you know. But
Another
they're playing
team.
Super Sport. Yeah, but the only thing is Platinum City Rovers, Paul. They beat Sekakuna in the last round. So
Okay.
you never know. At home, they may upset Super Sport, but Super Sport aren't a bad team. Good cup record, Paul. So you got to think Super Sport. would
Summerfield,
win.
is that
Nah,
Chatsworth?
that's a Chatsworth team.
Chatsworth team,
Yeah,
yeah.
they beat Utongati in the last round. They're in the playoffs to go up. Now, Black Eagles is from Rustenburg. A good local record, but you don't know again, Paul. Hoping for the local boys, Chatsworth team, but I would be having
That's
a
Clint
bet.
Larson.
Clint Larson's, I think, at
Summerfield.
Friends. He's with one. Sorry, Clint Larson's with them. Yes.
Yeah, he's coaching Summerfield.
Yeah, Summerfield, yeah. So
Yeah.
they're in the playoffs to get,
I hope
the
they go
first
through.
division. So do I. And TS Galaxy played Morocco like 10 days ago. Morocco beat them 1-0. So a tight game, Paul,
Tight
2-1. But it's hard when you haven't seen many of these teams, Paul, to have a
Yeah,
bet
yeah.
on. So we've left the
Okay,
game out
let's
this
go have a
week.
look at your soccer picks, Budge.
Yeah, Paul, we kick off with our Gold Circle Soccer 6. I'm bankering Liverpool to beat Brighton. I'm going Fulham to beat Barnsley. I've gone the field in the Brentford-Burnley clash. I'm going Bournemouth win and draw at home against Derby County. I don't see Millwall losing at home to Middlesbrough. And playing the safe way, I'm going Man United, the field 1-2-3 against Tottenham 2-1-6. On to our Pumalela Soccer 6. I'm bankering Liverpool to beat Brighton. I'm going the field in the Levante Espanyol game. I'm hoping Mamelodi Sundowns can avoid defeat at home against Pizza Masamani's Al Ahly. I don't see, well, I'm chancing Burnley to avoid defeat at Brentford. I've gone the field in the Man United Tottenham fixture, and I'm going for Entente City from Algeria to beat Amazulu 2-1-6.
Okay.
On to our Gold Circle Soccer 10. I'm banking Liverpool to beat Brighton, Fulham to beat Barnsley. I'm going Bayern Munich win and draw at Hoffenheim. I'm going the field in the Brentford versus Burnley game. I'm going Bournemouth win and draw at home against Derby.
Derby are fighting hard.
Fighting hard, Paul. Rooney's paying his dues. On to the second page of our Soccer 10. I'm going Sheffield United to avoid defeat at Coventry. I'm going Millwall win and draw at home against Middlesbrough. I'm banking Notts Forest to beat Reading, Villarreal and Celta Vigo, and I'm going the field in the Man United Tottenham fixture 288. On to our Soccer 13, I'm going Tottenham to avoid defeat at Old Trafford. I'm going Burnley, likewise, to avoid defeat at Brentford. I'm banking Birmingham to beat Hull City. I'm going Blackpool, win and draw at home against Swansea City. Cardiff City, win and draw at home against Preston North End. I don't see Sheffield United losing at Coventry City. I'm chancing Millwall to beat Middlesbrough at home. Our second page, I'm going Blackburn Rovers to beat Bristol City, Bournemouth to beat Derby County, Nottingham Forest to beat Reading. Needed another banker, so I'm chancing Stoke City to win at Peterborough, because Wigan Athletic win and draw at home at MK Dons, and Ipswich Town win and draw at home against Portsmouth or other 2 League One games, which comes to 256.
Just talking about that, Budge. My closest team to my place is Sutton,
Okay.
and they're second division down or something.
Are they the fourth, League Two, I think?
Yeah, League Two. They've just beaten League One team.
Yeah, to get to the EFL
The
Trophy
final. They either play Rotherham.
They played Rotherham. They won on penalties.
And one
last
of their
night.
great supporters is when they play that final, we're going to get them on the air. talk
Okay.
about Sutton
Now,
again.
do you know who owns Sutton? He's got a shared Sutton.
It's a boy in America.
Gary Otto. He's a Pinetown boy.
That's
His
right.
brother Dale's in our Expo committee.
That's right. So
Gary, I think, has got a
yeah,
10%.
Steve Murphy is this guy's name.
Okay, we'll get him on.
I told Steve we'll get him on. He goes to every one of their games. Him and his wife.
Sutton, man. He's not the guy that ate the pies.
No, that was the goalie.
The goalie, yeah.
That was the goalie. No, he doesn't look like he's eaten pies. But we're going to have him on the show when that final. I think they're playing. No. Rotherham play somebody.
Yeah, the Rotherham won last night on penalties.
So they play Rotherham, the
They're
league
Rotherham in
leaders.
the final, yeah.
Sure, tough
Game.
call.
But they beat Wigan who's second, so
That's
you
right.
never know.
You never know, Budge. Just sort of let you know.
Thank you.
Right, Budge, let's go to
Yeah,
your
it's our
best
bets.
bets.
Yeah, let's have a look, Paul. I'm going Leeds United to beat Norwich City. I'm going Aston Villa and Tottenham to win or draw. Aston Villa at West Ham and Tottenham at Man United. And I'm going Arsenal to beat Leicester and both teams to score. 2,400 to 200. Our both teams to score sides, I'm going Brentford Burnley, Everton Wolves, Southampton Watford, and Crystal Palace Man City.
You want Crystal Palace to get
Yeah,
one, eh?
Paul, I'm telling you, they'll burgle one.
Burglar penalty, so
Something like that. Saha, he'll be trying for his life. 2,200 to 200. Onto the championship, I'm going Birmingham City to beat Hull City, Luton Town to beat QPR, and I'm going Millwall and Sheffield United to win or draw. Millwall against Middlesbrough and Sheffield United at Coventry City. Now, over 2.5, both teams to score bet is Blackburn Bristol City, Bournemouth Derby County, and Luton QPR. So that's both teams to score and over 2.5 total.
So
goals.
1-1 and you've done your money.
Done, yes. It's got to be 2-1, 3-1, whatever. That's 3,300 to 200.
Goals only.
Our team goals only. I'm going for...
Tell Steve we're not talking to him.
No, maybe that's Steve with his pick. I'm going for Wolves, Fulham, Birmingham City and Luton, all to score over 1.5 goals. 5,000 to 200.
That's
Some of the
a nice
prices
bet,
were
sure.
crazy. 22 to 10 Wolves to score over a minimum of 2 at Everton. And our Collis King 6 or next, so I'm going Arsenal to beat Leicester, Leeds to beat Norwich, Fulham to beat Barnsley, Birmingham City to beat Hull City, Notts Forest to beat Reading, and Barcelona to beat Osasuna. 3,500 to 200.
Excellent, Budge. Those look very, very good. Well done. So those are Budgie's best bets. And don't forget, get your bets on Saturday, Sunday.
Saturday, 11, yeah. Saturday, Sunday, Monday games.
There's their Monday games
The
as
Man
well.
City Crystal Palace.
Okay, so don't forget that. You've got Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
11
make sure-
o'clock
11
closing
o'clock
time.
Saturday. Right, so until next time, stay on side.